Hello, Miss Crossman, and whoever else you may show this to. Um, in this video, I will be giving you a few short tips on how to survive the dorm life in college. So, without further ado, let's begin. So, on day one, you're definitely going to want to meet all of your roommates. It's a big one, so that you're not living with any strangers, and you can kind of get to know them a little bit better. Maybe talk about what you don't like when you're living with someone, and what they don't like, and you guys can reach a common consensus as to how to generally act around one another. Because if you don't do that, then there might be a problem later, and that is the last thing you want. So that picture I just showed of my sink is actually the cleanest my sink has been since the entire time I've been here. It's usually very much worse, but I just showed that to show you guys how important it is to make sure that everybody has a job revolving around cleanliness in the dorm, especially if you're a guy, and especially if you live with 7 people, because things can get nasty fast. It's very important to have a good relationship with your roommates, but what's also important is to make sure that you know your neighbors as well, so that you can know people beyond just the people you live with, and it'll make you a more diverse person. And you want to make sure that you go dorm hopping a lot. Dorm hopping is just knocking on other people's doors, saying hi, saying you're new here, introducing yourself. That'll go a long way in helping you feel more familiar with your area and familiar with the people in your brand new community. So now you know your dorm mates, and you know some of the people in your neighborhood, your new dorm community, and you're starting to make friends and everything. And it's Thursday night. People are kind of bored. You're with your new group of friends, and you guys are looking to do something, but nothing's really going on. So you think about, hey, I have my own place now. I'll have a party there, and I'll say that's a good idea. But it's not a good idea to do it without asking your roommates, because that will end generally very badly, and your roommates might not want to confront you essentially while it happens. They might talk to you after it happens, or they might be, in the extreme case, call the RA on you and shut down that party and have you get written up. And we don't want any of that. Any of that. So, if you're like most people, you're probably used to studying at home and in your own room and everything. But when you live in the dorm, you always have to keep in mind that even when you have 4 to 8 people living with you, there's generally always at least one person who's not studying. And even if they're watching TV in the other room, or just walking around a bunch doing something, maybe even cleaning, that can be very distracting, and it can make it hard to study. So what you want to do that will help you is probably go to the library, because even though the dorm is your home and it can be a good place to study, it won't always be the best place to study. But if you go to the library, you'll be able to find a lot more peace and quiet there, much easier, rather than trying to yell at your roommates like, "Hey, bro, I'm trying to study here. You got to stop what you're doing." No, because sometimes that won't work at all. So those were just some basic guidelines I wanted to talk about the dorm. These things will help you basically integrate your new life, your home life, into your dorm life. And I wanted to finish it up with some basic tips about the dorm. Here's about 4 tips you should always listen to. One, always check the people on your door, because if you don't, you don't know who's out there. It could be a criminal, or even worse, it could be an RA. I mean, you really don't want to see those guys. Number two, get a safe for your personal belongings, because even though you should trust your roommates, you might then one of them could be a thief initially. You don't always know that. So having a safe for your personal belongings gives you that kind of security, and it leaves no room for mistrust that you need to have. And number three is 10 p.m. is quiet hours. Never turn your music up too loud past 10 p.m., because people can and will complain to the RAs, and you can and will get written up for it. And finally, don't have any visible alcohol bottles in your dorm, whether they're empty or not, if you decide to drink in your dorm.